The King in Yellow is a strange work of fiction centered around a fictional, forbidden play of the same name. Reading this book is said to induce madness, paranoia, and existential dread under the curse of a mysterious king. The story has gained popularity within the Minecraft community through a video titled Searching for World That Doesn't Exist. But today, I'm going to transform this character into a full mod with a storyline, a cast of characters, strange events that curse the player, and most notably, a final encounter with the king himself. And so we begin with the first day to see what kind of experiences await. Chopping wood and mining ore, nothing interesting yet. I will need a tons of iron, and now I am able to upgrade to iron tools. The first day was still chilling, nothing unusual. Everything was going quite smoothly without much difficulty. To be safe, I crafted a shield and a bed. In the morning, I went out to hunt for food. I came across an abandoned village. I wondered if there was any good loot inside. There were some rather bizarre shapes here. These were yellow symbols carved into the walls. It seemed they might hold some meaning, but I genuinely could not understand them, nor could I read them. And here, more of these symbols appeared, some with spiral, twisted shapes. Who knew, perhaps in the future, it would serve as a clue to help me figure out the following mysteries. A bell sounded from that village, even though there was absolutely no one there. That night, I decided to sleep in another village, where I would be protected by an iron golem. I assumed this guy would not mind me staying the night. I then moved to a new house to give myself more space to live comfortably. The world corrected itself. What did that mean? I sensed something was wrong, so I tried returning to that other village to see if anything had happened. I was certain the village was here, wasn't it? Perhaps it was a glitch. Did the terrain generation overlap it? A village had vanished overnight. I went to mine more iron. I found iron immediately. So much food. Then I found a yellow page in the chest. When I clicked on it, a line of text appeared. So the more of these pages I collected, the more I could read. It mentioned Carcosa. Where was that? Some kind of city, perhaps. A land with two suns. I did not fully understand, but it seemed intriguing. With so much iron, I was able to craft a full set of iron armor. Then I noticed all the mobs around me were staring at me for no reasons. The iron golem was also staring. The Endermen did not attack me either. They just stood there, motionless. It seemed these creatures were possessed, cursed, so I decided to eliminate them all to lift the curse. I would have killed them anyway because I was hungry. Even the monsters underground were frozen stiff. They twitched slightly but could not move. All of them stared at me from a distance. How absurd! They raised the bow and they still did not attack. No attack at all. They were genuinely paralyzed, guys. The world was changing. I could feel it. When night fell, another event triggered. The sky seemed to be turning yellow. The moon had become yellow. Everything was sinking into yellow. Then I saw many dark shadows appear nearby, watching me without moving. Dark shadows were staring intently, but did not attack, did not move. Something was definitely wrong. No one here was moving or attacking. I went back inside immediately. Look, he was floating in the air. This was truly bizarre. There were those symbols I saw earlier now appearing in my inventory. Here too, many symbols were appearing. Even the crafting table had these symbols. I did not know their meaning. I decided to sleep, hoping that by morning everything would return to normal. They had surrounded the house. Then I gathered my courage to face them once and for all. They vanished instantly. Was this an illusion? But I even noticed something even worse. The village I was living in was gone. The village had disappeared. After a single night, the village was gone, leaving only my house standing with no living creature in sight. No houses remained. The villagers had all vanished. The sky returned to normal, but there was no one here. It seemed I would have to move. I could not stay here. This village too was cursed. I was not sure if what I had just witnessed was truly a curse or merely paranoia induced by the mod. It was possible the mod was causing me to hallucinate, to see mobs that were not actually there. In the distance, I spotted a new structure, quite large. Let's see what it was. I wondered whether I should enter. Of course, I was going in. This was the yellow symbol I had seen throughout this video. And in my inventory, similar symbols were appearing. Inside, dark shadows drifted about. But they did not attack. They simply wandered as if lost, completely soulless. Ah, there was another yellow page. Let me see what I can read from it. It mentioned the mask, describing a mask and some kind of performance. Was I supposed to perform? With 4 pages, what would I read? This time, it seemed to speak of a curse that turned people into something else. I could not tell who it was about. Yellow referred to these symbols, exactly the yellow markings I had seen in many places. The more pages I gathered, the more I could read. This time, it spoke of a throne, a king, and now I could craft something quite interesting. I would need 8 of these pages, combined with a book, to obtain the King script. This was the King script, a cursed book. Whoever read this book would suffer a terrible curse. So I had to be extremely careful while holding it, ensuring not to do anything wrong, like reading it, for example. The book contained stories. It spoke of many things, but I did not fully understand them. Then the curse was activated, followed by strange events. I headed back immediately. The sky was acting up again. I just saw some kind of ghostly figure. I thought sleeping was likely the best way to escape such curses. There were 2 moons now, split in 2, both yellow. I did not know if that was a sign of something terrible, but the curse was certainly growing more grotesque, more terrifying day by day. This was the same place I had been teleported to earlier when I strayed too far. Sleeping here might be all right, in this basement. Quite cozy, though it looked like a prison. As I slept, I was transported to another world. Was this a dream? It must have been a dream because I was sleeping. None of this was real. A yellow land with 2 suns surrounded by numerous dark shadows like the ones I saw in the library. Soulless shades. They did not notice my arrival at all. They vanished again. How strange. I explored to see if I could find anything. There was not a single tree, and with 2 suns, it felt like being burnt, baked by the sunlight. I saw something far away that could be a sign of living. An invisible wall blocked my way. There was something in the distance, a castle perhaps? It was a castle far away, separated by a wide, vast river. But my way was blocked by an invisible barrier, preventing me from reaching it. Was that a yellow castle? And there was something on the ground. What was this? The seal of Carcosa? I did not understand, but it looked intriguing. And then I returned. I had obtained this seal in the dream world. I thought it was just a dream, but it turned out to be real. And now I have it. Let me see what it could do. When I clicked it, a portal opened to that yellow dimension. Wow, a portal to the land with 2 suns. There was that castle in the distance alongside the river. It was exactly the place I had seen in the dream world. But this time, it was the real world. Let's see what awaits there. I prepared to enter. And I arrived. This was indeed the world of 2 suns, the true world. This was precisely the land of the king in yellow. Now I needed to find that castle. I continued moving forward. If I recalled correctly, as I moved, structures would generate near me, so I would not miss anything. There it was, exactly the castle I had seen in my dream, massive and imposing. It was magnificent, and it was truly yellow. Over there, those dark shadows wandered around. It seemed these shadows were the people of this place, but they had been afflicted by some curse, leaving them as wandering lost souls unable to escape. Now I had reached the castle. It looked enormous and beautiful, entirely yellow. I climbed my way in. Hello guys, there was no one here, no living soul. Here they were, those yellow creatures wearing masks, standing completely still. They seemed harmless. I continued onward. They remained motionless, doing nothing. Something was certainly wrong. And here we were at the throne. This was the throne room. All of them wore masks and tattered yellow robes, all staring at me without attacking or doing anything whatsoever. They are taller and skinnier like Endermen, like the royal guards, but without weapons and armor. And here was the king's throne. I could see the imprints left by the king's seat, his entire butt's marked into the cushion. I clicked on it. I ran immediately. There was the king, but it was only a shadow. After that, the king transported me to a different area. I looked around to see where I was. It was a giant theater. I was in a play created by the king. The king awaits your decision. Choose your fate. I had to make a choice, presented with 3 different options: burn the book, end the play, and return to the world. Second, remain in the land of Carcosa. Third, leave this play. Each choice would determine the player's fate. I was thinking for a while, then made the decision. After that, I was taken to another place surrounded by darkness. Where was I now? It looked somewhat familiar. This place felt very familiar. A glowing gate right in front of me, but this time connected by long walls on either side. I stepped through the gate to see what lay beyond. It was the only path available, and I had no idea where I was. 2 black suns. Horrifying. This was like a nightmare dimension. I did not know where I was, but the atmosphere was far more unsettling. Who was the king behind this story? I would soon find out and finally have the answers for everything.